Hello everyone and welcome back to another Movie Nights movie review. Today we're going to be talking about Liza Frankenstein. This film is directed by Zelda Williams, the daughter of Robin Williams, and it is written by Diablo Cody, writer of such films as Jennifer's Body and Tully. And when I first saw advertisements for this film, I was really excited. It kind of really looked like the vibe of a movie I wanted to see. It's got Kathryn Newton, it's got Cole Sprouse. I was very, very excited. And I saw the movie recently, and it's a mixed bag for me. I'm kind of right down the middle on it. There are a lot of things I didn't like, but there are a lot of things that are great in the film, and I'll kind of get into them right now. On the negative side, the first half of the movie really stumbles trying to set up exactly what it wants to be. It does find its identity in the second half, but I'll kind of get to that in a moment. In the setup, you can tell it's almost kind of going for this kind of Tim Burton-like style, while using like tropes of the 80s, which is when the film seems like it's set in. And while everything you're seeing looks nice, like the production designs look nice, the costumes look nice, the use of the frame I thought was a bit underutilized. Because while you can recognize the nice sets and everything that's going on, it's almost not fully utilizing why they were built. And I'm not saying this is what happened, but as a viewer, it felt like you built a set for the intended purpose of showing it in a wide, and then you're shooting the shot in a close-up. And you're just like, why? What? Something feels off about this. And it also sets up a backstory for the lead character played by Kathryn Newton that was only remembered throughout the film when it was useful, and it wasn't really kind of a defining character trait that it feels like it should have been. For example, I'm not going to spoil what the tragedy is, but it's a huge tragedy in this person's life. And there are moments in the film where, like, it involves a break-in, I'll say that. And there are moments in the film where, like, she gets left home alone and is cool with it. And I'm like, if someone who goes through the tragedy that this person goes through, if someone said, oh, we're just going to go and like leave you alone, hell no, like that's not happening. And it just felt weird as the movie was playing out that it would only kind of bring up that tragedy when they thought it would be a great joke or kind of work for something later in the story. But moving into positivity, the second half of this film, when it really finds its identity and knows what it wants to be, is hilarious. I laughed out loud multiple times in the movie. I'm a big fan of dark comedies, and this perfectly fits in that category. And in the second half of the film really shines. And I'll be honest, it's especially because of Cole Sprouse. I thought Cole Sprouse did a phenomenal job in the movie as the creature. You know, there's some witty dialogue, there's some fun editing jokes. It almost has like a Heathers vibe where you shouldn't be laughing at what you're laughing at, but it's doing a great job of making it funny and not tragic. And the second half of the movie, for the most part, really worked for me. But it kept kind of having character inconsistencies and some plot holes that I was like, wait, but how does, okay. And there's a lot of stuff that you're just going to have to accept for suspension of disbelief, mostly involving a tanning bed. Some people are going to be immediately turned off by that. I didn't mind it. I thought it was just a fun thing to get the movie going. And while I personally feel very mixed on the film, I can definitely see this movie becoming a cult classic. I feel like if someone watches this at the right point in their life, it's going to stick with them forever. And I hope it does. I hope this movie does have a long shelf life. By the way, speaking of great performances, Carla Gugino, I hope that's how you pronounce it, steals the fucking movie. She's unbelievable. And if you're a fan of, Mike Flanagan stuff, she's in a lot of that and does a phenomenal job in the movie. She knew exactly what movie she was in and she crushed that performance. Another thing, and this is a trend I've seen a couple times this year, film should have been rated R. I greatly feel like the film could have benefited from an R rating. You can dive into more of the insane high school antics a lot more, and you can be a little bit more violent and gory, which I think the film could have benefited from. Not that the violence wasn't bad. The violence was fine. But I think the willingness to go more over the top with it could have really helped the tone of this movie and what it was trying to establish. But since it was kind of hindered with PG-13, it makes that identity harder to find because you can't go as balls to the wall as I think they wanted to. So like I said, overall, the movie is a bit of a mixed bag for me, but I can definitely see a lot of people liking it, and I can see a lot of people thinking it's horrible. But what did you think about Liza Frankenstein? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next review.